The first cold front came in. It was a lot colder than I expected.
It's great. I love it.
Everything. It's dark out. It's
Dude,
gloomy.
you got a turtleneck on.
I know. You like
and
that?
we can't head to
I thought we
Minute
were
Maid
doing
Park tonight.
costumes today.
Well, it is Halloween, by the
I was
way.
going as The Rock.
Oh.
Oh.
You guys
I can tell by the body type.
Yeah, same build.
Same build.
Same build.
Definitely same build. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Diamond Podcast. Here, what happened?
It was just so muted. It was just so like, hi.
That was
hi,
good.
guys. Welcome,
No, that was
welcome
good.
to Beyond the
No, I
Diamond.
know, that was good.
Beyond the Diamond
That was good. I know,
NPR
it was good.
podcast.
It was good.
Brought
It
to you
was
by
good.
viewers like
we
you.
gotta have our inside voice.
That was good.
Hey.
We're keeping this. Keep it rolling. Keep the cameras rolling. Keep the.
All right. Well, we're here on location, Beyond the Diamond Podcast. 1522 Kingwood Drive here in Kingwood, the Big
Kingwood.
City Wings location. Brian Lima, Paulo Dez, producer Josh behind the camera today. And it's going to be our season recap for the Houston Astros. Dez, Josh, let's get right to it. We're going to give some grades, I guess. Pitching. What is it? Pitching, defense, offense?
Offense, defense, starting rotation, bullpen.
Okay.
End of the year report.
Well, it sucks.
Report
because
cards. Report cards are
Report
due.
cards are due.
Just shred the report card up. They're not in the World Series, so who cares?
Yeah, it's
It sucks.
it's an F.
Damn it.
Yeah, F all around.
I need the D-backs. Come on, snakes alive.
Seriously, man.
Please figure that out.
Just figure out a way to beat those assholes.
I
God.
just. The first cold front came in. It was a lot colder than I expected.
It's great. I love it.
Everything. It's dark out. It's
Dude,
gloomy.
you got a turtleneck on.
I know. You like
And
that?
we can't
I
head to
thought
Minute
we were
Maid
doing
Park tonight.
costumes today.
Well, it is Halloween, by the
I was
way.
going as The Rock.
Oh.
Oh.
You guys
I can
didn't
tell
dress
by the
up.
body type.
Yeah, same build.
Same build.
Same build.
Definitely same build. For sure.
Same hairstyle.
Right,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I see you got your spring training hat on. Are you
Got
ready
that.
for spring training?
Yeah, we're turning the page. We're moving forward.
Okay.
We're spring training bound.
Moving forward
Yeah.
on the season recap, what we're going to talk about
I-
the past.
Another thing that I want to hit on is the most frustrating part of the season for you guys.
Okay.
I already got mine, so let y'all marinate on that. I guess we can start just kind of, briefly, all three of us go through
Yeah.
the season as a whole.
Yeah. Do you want to wait till grades
Yeah, I think we do grades
later?
a little bit
Okay.
later down
Grades
the
last?
podcast. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah. I just really excited to come into the season. They unveil the gold banner. No hiccups there, right? No need to get a leaf blower out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we started.
Maybe
on a
we
good
should
foot.
have. Maybe we should have
It's-
got a leaf blower.
Well, this went better in 2018.
I did.
so-
Yeah, that's true.
I will have to say, games 1 and 2 were frustrating for me because Chaz McCormick was not the starting center fielder.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was Jake Myers, so a little weird lineup to
I
start.
thought he earned that with that catch. I thought that catch was like, he's the center fielder now.
If that was not alluding to the rest of the season,
Yep.
not a preface for the rest of the season, how the lineups went, I don't know what is. But yeah, then you still didn't have anything from Lance McCullers because of the setback in spring training. Luis Garcia, he got a couple starts, and then boom, pops
Yeah.
his elbow. Tommy John. Altuve obviously didn't start the season, and then we saw a hot start from Mauricio Dubon, a 20-plus game hitting streak. No Michael Brantley. It was just kind of one of those seasons, man, where you had to put it all together, or piece it together, rather having it all together, piece it together with
Just
players in and out. We saw Diaz hit really well. We obviously know the catcher conversation, but yeah, just a kind of a weird year, I'd say.
all around. I mean,
Yeah.
we thought David Hensley,
Yeah.
was going to be that guy.
It felt like figuring out the zodiac letters. Just never knew what was gonna happen. Like it was that was a pop culture reference.
I was
dude.
gonna say,
yeah.
was that a
That was a pop culture.
like
well, actually,
our
that was
pop
a,
culture? Or?
That was like a
It's a movie.
that was a real thing. Actually, it was a movie based on a
that-
real life.
that
thing.
happened?
that happened.
Yeah.
No, it just like it was weird. The only way I can describe it is as a weird year where
It was kind of like 2018 again,
yeah,
but like it didn't feel like that most
It
of
was
the
also,
year.
like,
Looking back,
self-imposed a bit with
yeah.
Yeah.
Dust. Look, I've said it, and I'll keep saying it, I'm thankful Dusty Baker's the best Houston Astros manager in the history, but he wanted to win his way, and he went down on the ship his way, and
I mean, a couple things go differently. If Javier is better in that last game, we're
Yeah.
having a whole different conversation about
yeah.
Dusty.
Hunter Brown takes a step up. He regressed to the mean. Obviously, JP France emerged. Urquidy went down for a bit.
But really though,
I mean,
well, with Hunter Brown, did he regress though? He was a rookie. Let's call it like it is.
oh no, I think he regressed to I don't think he regressed. Let me say that
They adjusted
the
to him.
expectations.
Yeah. Higher
regret.
than
Yes.
Yeah,
and
I got you.
and that's
Okay.
putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no anyone saying that he was to be the next Justin Verlander and expected him to match a maybe arguably one of the best right-handed pitchers in the history of the sport right off the bat, just because they have the same windup that was dumb.
Yeah.
But also I think it went back to the very beginning of how weird this year was, where we operated with no general manager for
There's
a month
that in
and a
there
half.
too.
So then you had kind of have the Dana Brown hire,
Playing catch
and
up.
then playing catch. Not really even play. He was just playing defense. I felt like
Yeah.
the entire year, like,
Yeah.
and he comes on your show and like, it was a breath of fresh air. He was just very transparent, but also it almost felt like an arranged marriage of sorts because
Yeah.
it was so late in the game and you're just trying to figure it out. And obviously, look, Dusty's a great people person. That relationship's probably great. It's just like, hey, by the way, here's your boss, but you already been working for 4 years, like,
Right.
and your old boss is fired, but you're operating. It's almost like another pop culture reference. What's that movie where the grandpa's dead and the Weekend at Bernie's?
Weekend
Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, like you're just operating with no rules for
Right.
a bit. So it was just weird. It's a weird year.
Yeah, I think the first month or so before spring training, when they made the signing of Abreu and the signing of Montero, I think everybody last offseason wanted Montero back. He pitched his ass off.
Oh, yeah.
Now the contract, say what you want about it, a little steep,
Look, generational money.
and you bring in Jose Abreu, an aging first baseman,
But this is the problem.
for a lot of money.
This is the problem. If it was Click, if it was Mr. Joe Smith or Miss Joe Smith, whoever it was, I think everyone was going to target Abreu.
Yeah,
I
because he's
think-
not Yuli.
Correct. I think
Yeah.
I think the decision to move off Yuli was he was older, and they're like, Jose Abreu, former MVP. Yes, he's 35. He's gonna be turning 36. Let's go get him. And they did. So I don't think that grade itself was bad. Obviously, the production was bad really early on, but he was hurt. He had a great off the IL through the playoffs. It was phenomenal. That's the guy you paid.
overall in his
Yeah.
year. I'm happy with it. He had about the same
Passing grade.
Passing grade. I think overall with what he did in the postseason, I think he did better than Yuli would have done. Better than Yuli did last year. Probably the best option we could have got at first base as far as he
Yuli
was
Gurriel
available.
during the regular season last year, not very good.
No,
No, had a great October.
But then we saw playoff
Yeah.
Yuli.
Yeah.
And from what we saw, Jose Abreu after the back injury, he hit pretty well.
yeah.
I mean, he didn't have a home run for 3 months.
Yeah.
He had a back injury, and he still damn near had 100 RBIs.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
that speaks volumes
Yeah.
of people in front of him.
Right.
But he still
Yeah.
had 100 RBIs this season.
He had a great year. I think the only argument you could say is maybe just still an overpay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And
negative war doesn't help.
So what I was going to say was operating without a GM with Jeff Bagwell helping out with decisions, bringing in Jose Abreu, and also signing Rafael Montero to a pretty large contract money-wise for a reliever. That's what makes this upcoming manager hire. I think they need to do, and again, we're going to have our own episode where we talk about the next manager for the Astros and who we think and so forth and so on. I think they need to make this manager hire sooner rather than later. World Series is already in game number 4.
Yeah, I
Free
agree.
agency opens 5 days after the World Series. You can't have a GM without a manager, and you can't have a manager without a GM. We saw what happened when they had a manager and no GM.
Yeah.
So they need to get a manager sooner rather than later.
Yeah, they
I
need
think
a
it happens-
cohesive team to figure
I think
it
it
out.
happens by the weekend.
I said the end of this week. Unless they have an eye on one of the bench Will Venable for
That's
the
what I
Rangers, where you got to wait till after the World Series to interview him or ask for permission, so forth and so on. So I don't know. Again, we'll save that for another episode. But I'm with you, Des. I think it happens at the end of this week.
Yeah. The other thing with Dana, I think you got to also keep the same energy that people have for Bagwell with Dana a bit too. And it's still really early, but he just gave Javier a big extension, and Javier had a shit year.
Yeah.
So like
That's
the
another
people
weird
that
thing
were
about this
clamoring
season.
on Bags, like you can also. It's not fair to grade every GM on every decision. I mean, Click signed Hector Nair. I mean, who's the guy from the Dodger? Pedro Baez, who
Pedro
just like
Baez.
Oh, didn't do a
Was
damn thing.
Awful.
like now I can say it. Literally hated the Astros
Yeah.
and sandbagged. I can legitimately say that.
You can say it,
allegedly. Allegedly, I could say that.
Des knows some things.
Yeah,
allegedly.
I mean, like, it was in spring training that year, and like, yeah, allegedly, yeah, sandbagging. So like, you can't grade. Obviously, GMs are paid a lot of money to be graded on decisions like that, but still, I want to see Dana a full offseason, get his guys in. Obviously, pick the manager and see who the manager wants to bring on, keep on. Be really interesting.
Yeah. I look back to Christian Javier's season. That's another weird thing.
Yeah.
Very
Dude,
weird.
at one point he was like 8-1, yet he couldn't even get out of the fifth inning.
Do we think that was strictly dead arm, or do you think it was mental, or do you think it was?
I think it was a combination of all.
I said it all season long. I thought he was out of shape. I thought he was out of shape and laboring through innings. Now you could incorporate dead arm and fatigue. He pitched in the World Baseball Classic, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So short turnaround because you played it in November. Then you go back to spring training, and then a week or two into spring training, boom, you're playing highly competitive.
He basically had like a month and a half off.
So you could also talk about that
Yeah.
and how it was his first
Full
season as a
Compound
starter.
effect.
So you've got that as well.
I think
Just so many different
I
culminating
think he'll
factors,
be
but
better next year.
I hope so.
I mean,
Astros are
he's
going to need
getting
him.
he's hopefully he's getting a lot of rest right now.
Yeah,
He won't, he doesn't have to pitch again until mid-February.
Right.
So like, he
That
should
is
be
true.
okay.
Yeah,
Last year he had a
pitched in
month and a
November.
half. Last year he had a month and a half off. This
Yeah.
year he's gonna have like 3.5 months off.
yeah.
That's a huge difference.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even honestly. Framber, JV, Javi.
Oh yeah, that's right. They've got Justin Verlander.
Yeah.
I'm probably don't pick up a baseball till the first week of spring training.
Yeah.
To get ramped up.
I would tell
Start
him
getting
that.
ramped
I would
up
be
then.
like, we have enough starters to where we can go soft in the first few weeks and
I
take
think-
our time.
I think a baseball probably gives Framber Valdez nightmares at this point.
Yeah.
What happened with him?
We get-
down
let's
the
get-
stretch?
let's
Honestly,
get it-
what happened?
Okay, we do
Let's get
grades?
into our grades. We'll
Okay.
start with the
Give me
starting
grades.
rotation.
The starting rotation or pitching
Okay.
staff as a whole?
Starting rotation.
Starting
Okay,
rotation.
because the bullpen's an A plus. We know that. That's an E. Everybody should have an A plus.
Which is
on
why they're graded separately.
that. Right. Okay. All right. So we'll start with the starting rotation. Producer Josh, you can go first.
I'll give them a B minus. I think they were strong for first 3 quarters of the year. They had one of the best starting rotation ERAs in baseball. Javier fell off a cliff. Framber, who was going to start the All-Star game, he had like a 2.5.
I still think.
He had like a
I'll go to my
2.
grade.
He had like a 2.51 ERA in the first half, and then like a 5 ERA.
What are you going to grade with?
I think the decision of not letting him start the All-Star game threw him in this
Mental funk.
mental hurricane.
Well, he's also had a little beat up ankle.
He did have a beat up ankle, and then I think trading back for Justin Verlander as well. I think
Really?
I think it was a kind of. I mean, I don't
So
know. This is-
mentally for him.
I think that was just a cocktail of just like I could see it perceived from someone as like FUs
Yeah.
to them when it's not. Like
Yeah.
Dusty Baker was adamant, like you thrown a lot, you just rolled your ankle, you obviously throwing the All-Star game's a huge honor.
It was the right business decision to not.
Yeah.
It made
start
all the
him.
sense in the world.
He
to
didn't
not
even
have him
show up.
Start.
That's how upset. When has Framber Valdez not shown up for an
a
event?
party. Yeah, he would. Yeah, you think
Yeah.
Framber would be in there, the home run derby?
So
with
like,
all the
I mean,
guys?
it's just all speculation, but like, I do feel like on a human level something was there.
Yeah. So what do you give the starting rotation grade wise?
I want to say a B, but I'm gonna go C plus because they held a lot of games close when the offense was in a funk.
yeah.
I don't know if
Well, I'm giving him a C plus. So.
okay.
So we're
And
all
I-
giving
and-
them the same grade,
Well,
basically.
mine's a C plus because it was the inability to get past the 6th inning.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
just-
fair. That's what I was trying to.
A couple weeks, you'd have Fromber pitch his ass off, and then he could barely get through the 4th or the 5th. Christian Javier could barely get out of the 5th inning. Then you had JP France come up. He pitched pretty well, could get through the 6th inning, but then he fell off. Hunter Brown struggled, was up and down, inconsistent, pretty much the entire season long, which, again, he's a rookie. High expectations on him, probably unfair expectations.
And a workload that he hasn't experienced.
Similar to Javier. I mean, he
Right.
pitched a ton. I mean, he didn't
Yeah.
pitch in a World Baseball Classic, but he still.
You didn't have Jose Urquidy. He got hurt.
Yeah.
You didn't have Luis Garcia. You didn't have Lance McCullers Jr.
Luis Garcia going down, I think, was a bigger impact on our
Yeah,
you know,
overall
and
season
then-
than we think.
huge.
Who am I missing? Who am I
You
missing?
probably still have Clifford and Gilbert if Luis Garcia doesn't get hurt.
Probably.
I agree, but then do we make it as far?
And
with him
I
instead
do
of
think the Justin
Verlander?
Verlander trade got us to
Yeah.
the ALCS. I don't think without Justin Verlander you didn't get back to this spot. He pitched his ass off down the stretch. I mean, since acquiring him, I think he had 2 hiccup games, but other than that,
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
pretty spot on Justin Verlander.
Yeah.
So
C plus.
Yeah. for
B
me.
minus, C plus, C plus.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just knock the bullpen out of the way then.
Yeah. Bullpen for me is an
I'm
A plus.
I'm gonna say A.
Dude,
I'm gonna say
they were-
A.
I'm gonna say A.
I'm going A plus.
Strictly because Montero, and then there was some moments with Presley,
Yeah.
and then stuff like that.
Say
I
A,
think
man.
collectively for me they were unbelievable. Brian Abreu he's so good. Like you can't say enough about him. Phil Maton struggled at times.
I bring him
Found
back
it down the stretch.
I bring him back.
Phil?
I bring back Phil.
I think the one mystery that I will have under a Dusty Baker's regime is what happened between him and Ryan Stanek.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ryan Stanek last year should have been an all-star. We talked to him about it in our studio. He had a sub-1 ERA and barely pitched down the stretch and barely pitched in the playoffs last year.
And this year.
And then this year.
I mean, maybe the whip because of the walks, but other than that, like, dude's
He's not. He's about, I would say, at least on par with Montero as far as his numbers. But Montero threw all the time.
and yeah,
I don't understand it.
the usage was very, very weird.
There
for
was
how
there was a
productive he
stretch
was.
down like September where he didn't pitch for like a week.
Yeah,
Honestly, like I have another moment. Another moment just popped up. Stanek yelling at the umpire
That
Yeah.
was a great launch pad moment. I
it was
think
great.
it's a moment you circle, but like, all right, let's let
Yeah,
it
because
fire.
we
to
had
the
just
ass.
gotten like swept.
we yeah.
by the Dodgers.
Yeah,
No, I think we took the last game.
Oh, did they? Oh, it was a 2-game series.
we
wasn't
had
it?
luck, but we swept the series before. We were in a funk.
We were in a
Yeah,
funk,
funk.
and
big
that
funk.
was so Standy doing that was huge.
Yeah, because I called a balk on him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he got into.
Yeah, it got
umpire.
heated.
Um,
I think, just the bullpen held it down pretty
Yeah,
much all season long, especially down the stretch. All right, let's talk lineup, offense.
Offense.
You looking. We're gonna look at this postseason. I hope this is the last
which
time we
which
ever.
lineup? There's 165 versions of it.
I think. Just real quick on October performance. I think this. I really hope this is the last time that we ever have to say that Kyle Tucker struggled in the playoffs.
I think it will be.
I think
It's
it will be.
non-existent.
I think it will be. This is a
Dude, he could barely
learning
work
op.
walks.
It's a learning op. I think he was
Man.
gassed. I think he had no legs.
He also played in the World Baseball
World
Classic.
Baseball
and he
Classic.
also only had a month and a half off.
Yeah, and that's also a really good point. Is which lineup are we talking about? 162 games in the regular season.
what's
There was like
crazy?
104 of them.
the death lineup that we all tweeted about. That one I think 10-2
I got to save them on
One
phone.
time. One time.
was only used once.
Yeah, I got it actually.
Yeah.
Let me
I
get
mean,
it out. Yeah,
I think that lineup. No, because Maldi started every postseason game just about.
We didn't roll the death lineup.
So is this
There was
one we're
one-
talking about? Altuve, Pena, Alvarez, Bregman, Tucker, Abreu, Brantley, McCormick, Diaz.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. If that can be the lineup majority of the season next year,
Do you know who they played?
other than Brantley,
I'll be the GM for $1. I mean, I'll be the manager for $1.
Do you know who they played that game when they used it?
And they won 10-2, right?
It was against the Padres.
Mm.
One time we saw that.
That's wild. And look, hold on. I don't. Yanier was wide-eyed, bushy-tailed in the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
He was in that little funk, but still, like, you can't have a potential generational talent who he just matched Buster Posey
easily
easily this year
Like,
in
it
rookie
didn't seem-
rookie numbers.
How many
Didn't seem hard
bombs
to
did he
him.
hit? 20 plus, right?
24, 23.
You play him more, he's hitting more than 30. He could be pushing 40
Yeah,
as a rookie.
yeah.
I'm gonna.
I think he's gonna. I think some people might be upset with him next year. I think he's gonna be a little overhyped that he's starting all
Probably.
the time.
Probably.
But I think he's gonna be a guy that hits.
Wait,
like,
Astros fans being upset at a player? No way.
I think he's gonna hit like 240 with like 35 bombs.
3.2 WAR,
and I'll take that.
23 bombs, 282 batting average, 100 knocks on the season.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not bad. That is a OPS of 846 an OPS plus of 128.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look,
Strong.
Strong.
I'm gonna give the offense a B plus. That might be a little
Interesting.
high. Might be a little high, but
I was gonna give him a B.
I
We're
think
doing regular season.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think back to Jordan missed time, Altuve missed time, Brantley
fair.
missed time. So maybe a B is probably a little bit better. I think it's a little high because of the guys that missed time. Chaz still had a pretty good year.
Great year.
Great year.
Pena didn't really do much,
He was solid down the stretch. I mean, I think he finished the year with.
but collectively,
Collectively, he was
Okay.
He was a Anderton Simmons, basically.
Yeah.
He was a
Yeah,
very
the
good
last
defensive.
Home run was 4th of July.
Yeah.
yes,
July 5th.
His power got zapped.
Kyle Tucker played well. Bregman
Great
had over
MVP
Bregman
votes.
had over 100 RBIs, right?
Bregman quietly had a top 4
Yeah.
third baseman in the league year.
Yeah.
Obviously Abreu struggled, but picked it up down the stretch.
Altuve
Altuve, when he
was-
came back, he hit out of his mind. Martin Maldonado's Martin
Now
Maldonado.
you're convincing me a B plus.
Yeah.
No
Well,
worries.
Dubon, we saw what he did, but he struggled at times.
Yeah.
And again, it's a 162 game season, and we know that hitting's hard. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe B plus. I think.
I think it's a B plus on a weighted scale,
Sure.
just because Jordan missed so many games, Altuve missed so many games.
Yeah.
You had guys step up. Dubon, obviously Tucker emerged as an MVP guy. Chaz when he finally got full time play was putting up George Springer numbers. I think in reality it's a B, but with the weighted scale is a B plus on the offense.
I would agree with that.
They were 5th in baseball in runs.
Wow.
I mean, there was times, and this is no disrespect, but like Madris was getting a ton of run. Jolts was getting a ton of run. Like there's a lot of mix and match in the early. Like I feel like the dog days of summer baseball were actually just like the dog days of spring, because that's when it was just like so like we have to put a lineup together filled with bubble gum and duct tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Piece it together.
Yeah.
All right. So defense. That was like up and down.
Yeah. Kind of suspect at times.
Yeah.
They couldn't throw runners out to save their life.
Yeah.
But again, that's not just on the catcher. That's also on the pitcher. They didn't hold runners very well.
PFP was a problem.
Yeah. Even in a league where you were limited on pickoff attempts,
They got
pitch
it.
timer, pitch clock, and everything else, they couldn't throw anybody out.
They got to figure that out.
Maybe
Yeah.
I was wrong about the clock, the pitch timer clock.
You like it now?
I think I do.
I like how they handle it. They've handled it so far the postseason. You'll notice exactly what I asked for is umpires.
There's
that-
umpire discretion
umpires
for
to
sure.
have a little
Yeah.
wherewithal, and in a moment, if a player just fouled one off his ankle, they're letting him take a minute to walk
Yeah.
around. If it's a big moment, they're taking a minute to start the clock. I'm
At
fine with
least,
that.
at least they got that because their strike zone is horrendous.
Yeah, that's been bad.
I mean, it was horrendous all season long. I'd give them a D.
the umpires.
Yeah.
I give them an F.
I think it
Brutal,
was more of an
man.
F.
Brutal.
I say defense is
I'm trying to pull
compared
up
to how good they have been. I say a C.
Yeah.
Yeah, compared
I
to
think-
their potential of how good they could be and they should be.
Yeah.
C I think is Tucker. I mean, fell off a cliff defensively.
I looked at some of his advanced numbers, and you guys know me, I'm not a big advanced
You're
stats
not.
guy, and his numbers were
Awful.
in the negatives.
And he was the best last year.
yeah.
It's
And
weird.
he still got
I
nominated
think
for a
I
Gold
think
Glove.
that's also fatigue. I mean,
Yeah.
I think his legs were just gone. By
But
the
then
end of the
also some positives. Mauricio Dubon got nominated for 2 Gold Gloves.
year.
I
You know,
Bergman's gonna win.
that's what I was
I
about to
hope.
say. I think I'm giving the defense a C plus, and that's a lot on Breggy carrying it. Like
Yeah.
And Pena.
I think the grade is probably lower, but Bregg's finally gonna win his first Gold Glove.
the left side of our infield was locked down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think C plus.
Okay.
And a lot of that's Bregman carrying that grade up.
Yeah.
Like almost a full letter grade. It feels like.
yeah.
So I think overall in the season we've given the team about a B.
Yeah. And look, on a year where they were inconsistent, meaning lineups, defense, offense, pitching, and they still were a game away from the World Series. I mean, it's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have. Like the standard,
least.
is to play for pennants.
Yeah.
And they made it. We didn't win, but we made it to where this is where we play every year. Yeah, I still have them. I'm gonna put down a fat bet on them to win the 2024 World Series as soon as this World Series ends. So
I also laugh
bet,
every time.
bet responsibly.
I also laugh every time I think back to Twins fans in our mentions trying to say that they were going to win the ALDS.
We got a video coming.
We do have a
later.
video
Yeah,
of the
it's
Twins
funny,
fans.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
that'll
call,
drop
Thought
it.
you were gonna get away.
Yeah. Good call.
I think. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I think we win at least 5 more games than we did last year. Next year,
Will they win this year? 90?
90. I think we win
92,
95.
I thought.
92, whatever it was?
90, yeah, it was 92.
What was a 3-way tie?
Yeah, I think we win 95, 96, but I do think the Rangers and Mariners also have better years. So
Well, Rangers are going to be good
yeah,
unless, Jacob deGrom gets hurt again. Is he even going to pitch next year?
it's supposed to be.
Supposed
Is
to.
he?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which I think would probably
think-
be more dangerous that he has a half season.
I think
He'll be down the stretch.
Max Scherzer is on his very, very back end. He got hurt last night
Yeah.
again, which sucks, but
I think that, you know what, I
Time
think
is
they
undefeated.
smolts him. I think they move him to the pen
Really?
next year. I think it'd be smart all around. His intensity coming out of the pen, like
he's a
starting
psycho.
over
Psychopath.
he's a
Yeah.
psychopath.
I think it works. It would work. It's just whether he agrees to it, but I think it
Yeah.
would give him another 3 years
Yeah.
of his arm. Yeah.
We'll
What?
see.
That's going to do it.
Yeah.
Yep. Again, we're here at Big City Wings, the Kingwood location, 1522 Kingwood Drive. What else you guys got?
Yes.
Not just Big City Wings, but also
Yeah.
a couple others.
Zing Zang, Zang responsibly. We've been crushing the Bloody Mary pre-made mix
Yep.
way too much at the office, actually. So we've been zanging responsibly, though. Celebrity Mint, at the Celebrity Mint. They have a Tyson drop coming at the end of this month. Yeah, we can go follow them at the Celebrity Mint. And other than that, thank you to Big City Wings for having us out at the Kingwood location.
Yep. 1522 Kingwood Drive.
Kingwood Drive.
Big City Wings.
All right, well, that's
Follows
good.
Wing Joint.
That's going to do it for Beyond
Houston's
Diamond
Wing Joint.
podcast, the 2023 season recap.
And grades.
And grades. We will
Report card,
see you.
report card season.
Shred it
card,
up, throw
yeah.
it away.
Yeah.
We're on the World
Don't give it to
Series.
your parents. Hide
Don't.
it. Hide it.
Let us know.
You're failing
Let us know your
athletics
grades.
if you give it.
Yeah, let us know your grades for each of those categories, and we'll be back with the managerial search conversation later this week. Thank you for watching and listening. I'm Josh. That's Des and Brian, and we will see you next time.
See you in spring training.
Peace.
Love you guys.